Welcome back, everyone. Man, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. We are taking a deep, structured look at a literal milestone in gaming, Terraria's monumental 1.4.5 update. And yes, Relogic swears this is actually the final update this time, set to drop in 2026. But hey, we're not just going to look at the shiny new PC content today. We are also going to tackle the very practical and honestly often frustrating realities of mobile gameplay right now. So, whether you're a veteran builder or a mobile explorer just trying to save your world, this explainer is going to carefully map out exactly what you need to know.
Okay, let's dive right into this. First, we'll cover Terraria's final chapter, then compare the 1.4.4 and 1.4.5 updates and explore the world and quality of life changes. After that, we'll tackle the Android mobile challenge before finally wrapping up with the upgrade decision.
Section 1. Terraria's final chapter, a 15-year legacy. The timeline of this game is, well, it's absolutely staggering. We're going from the initial PC launch way back in May of 2011, right through those console and mobile debuts in 2013, all the way to this massive final 1.4.5 update scheduled for March 2026. I mean, this just brilliantly illustrates Relogic's incredible long-term dedication to their community. We're talking about 15 solid years of continuous, completely free development. But with 1.4.5, Relogic is finally pulling the curtain down on major content expansions, and that is exactly why this specific patch is so vital for us to understand.
Section 2, 1.4.4 versus 1.4.5, the big shifts.
So, if you remember, the 1.4.4 update was really all about quality of life, fleshing out mid-game equipment, and just general accessibility, right? It was foundational. 1.4.5, however, completely shifts gears. This update is strictly built for endgame progression and hardcore completionists. It's designed specifically to give veteran players, the ones who have already mastered the game, a brutal, definitive final challenge. Now, what's really interesting is when we look at the raw data, the pivot is just obvious. 1.4.4 gave us 0 new bosses. 1.4.5 gives us 3. We jump from just over 10 niche weapons to 18 highly targeted ones, and we even get an entirely new biome. It's a massive pivot from tweaking the mid-game to massively expanding the absolute limits of the endgame. In fact, if we boil it all down to a single metric, 1.4.5 brings a whopping 57% increase in overall new content pieces compared to the previous update. We are talking about 47 distinct new features compared to roughly 30 in 1.4.4. So what exactly is making up that huge content spike? It's the legendary encounters. 1.4.5 introduces 3 post-Moonlord encounters. You've got the Void Leviathan, the Abyssal Construct, and a highly anticipated hidden third boss. Because these represent the absolute peak of Terraria's difficulty curve, analysts are actually estimating these fights alone will demand somewhere between 5 to 10 hours of brutal new endgame gameplay just to master their unique mechanics. And of course, to fight those legendary bosses, you're gonna need some shiny new gear. The new weapon distribution is beautifully balanced here. 5 new melee weapons, 5 ranged, and 8 dedicated to the magic and summoner classes. But here's the catch. You can't just craft these out of common ores. These weapons require rare drops from those specific legendary bosses we just talked about, which creates this incredibly deeply rewarding endgame progression loop. Section 3. World and Quality of Life. Expanding the Underground. 1.4.5 introduces the Abyssal Depths. And let me be clear, this isn't just a reskin. It's a brand new cavern layer biome, featuring entirely unique ruins, specialized structures, and fresh particle effects. Exploring this new space is going to feel incredible, mostly because it perfectly complements the new quality of life features arriving in this patch, specifically the advanced crafting search filters and those highly requested minimap waypoints. But I need to give a very clear warning to our veteran players right now. Fresh world generation is strictly required to access the Abyssal Depths. Your existing 1.4.4 worlds, they will play just fine, but they absolutely will not retroactively generate this new cavern biome or its unique structures. So to get the full 1.4.5 experience, you are going to have to generate a brand new world. Section 4. The Android Mobile Challenge, Save File Nightmares. Mechanically speaking, the mobile team at DR Studios and 505 Games, they are doing an amazing job. The gameplay parity with PC is fantastic. The problem, though, is the operating system.
Starting with Android 11, Google introduced scoped storage. Think of it like a massive digital vault where your phone won't even give you the key, locking down access to local data and OB folders. It makes backing up your hundreds of hours of world data incredibly frustrating.
Just think about the convoluted, insanely complex steps players currently have to take just to safely back up their worlds right now. You either have to physically connect your device via cable to a PC, use third-party transfer apps like LocalSend just to bypass those locked folders, or set up wildly complex wireless debugging environments using developer tools like Shizuku alongside apps like Team Manager. It is incredibly time-consuming and honestly, completely unnecessary.
The community frustration is very real. I actually want to read this quote from a Terraria forum user named Breadbin. They wrote, quote, "I am looking for a way to automate it, but Google have our hands tied with this bull," end quote. They go on to explain how high-end gaming devices like Lenovo tablets and Retroid Pockets are locked up so tight you can't even see your own save files without using these complex workarounds. It's incredibly disheartening when you just want to secure your legacy world, you know? But there actually is a technical solution here. Another forum user, jbro129, pointed out the fix that DR Studios could absolutely implement. Quote, "Realistically, they can add a file provider permission to allow the standard Android Files app to access the Terraria saved data. In other words, they can add a file provider permission, which is essentially a digital VIP pass, to allow the standard Android Files app to access the Terraria saved data. This is exactly what other Unity-based games have done to bypass the whole Android 11 scoped storage issue. So, until the developers patch this permission in, mobile players are stuck jumping through technical hoops." Section 5. The upgrade decision. Should you make the jump? So, what does this all mean for you? Who exactly should upgrade to 1.4.5 right now? Well, because a game this vast has so many different types of players, the answer actually depends on how you play. Let's break down exactly what you should do. If you're a veteran, you should upgrade immediately. You absolutely need those 25 new achievements and the brutal post-Moonlord boss goals. Now, if you're a casual player who mostly just enjoys building, it is totally safe to stick with 1.4.4 for a while. You already have the best quality of life tools. If you rely heavily on massive mods like Calamity, you absolutely need to wait 6 to 12 months for Tmod Loader to actually catch up to this patch. And finally, if you're a mobile player on an Android 11 device or higher, do not patch your game until you have heavily prepped and manually backed up your world using the PC or Shizuku methods we just discussed. Ultimately, Terraria 1.4.5 represents the brilliant, challenging end of a 15-year era. But navigating to it, well, that requires just a little bit of planning. So I'll leave you with this. As this ultimate update drops, how will you preserve your ultimate Terraria legacy in the face of the abyssal depths and modern save file challenges? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.